So to me, Derek and Cameron is, it's we're going to do it as a web series, and it's, I think it's a powerful, potent, unconventional kind of a love story. I often get questioned about where the material comes from, and what I have to say is that, as a filmmaker, a writer, director, it's very difficult for me to tell a story that I don't have some kind of identity with or personal experience with. And for better or worse, in my path in this life, I've had experiences that have been outside of the realm of the typical gay experience. But once we started to put up some of my films like Triple Standard and 13 or so minutes, we started to realize that the audience out there was a much larger one, and it had me begin to, explore that whole concept of Kinsey and his scale of sexuality.
Well, my name is Thomas Adisi, and I'm playing Derek. And I remember first reading for him, for Brandon, and being really fascinated by what seemed like, for me, a really kind of unusual and unfamiliar to my mind circumstance that Derek finds himself in. I have a lot of friends in my life who are straight, I have a lot of friends who are gay, but I have yet to actually know one person who was straight and then kind of developed this really loving relationship for another man. So that exploring that dynamic in just a human sense is a very new thing for me and has been really exciting, and I think that is what drew me to the character.
Nice. My name is Branden Crowder, and I'm playing Cameron. And I think what draws me to Cameron the most, or what I find most interesting, is that he's in a very important transitional moment in his life. And he's having to, for the first time, probably really honestly, having to investigate the way in which he reacts with the world and responds to what he's given from other people. And I think that I'm very similar to Cameron in a lot of ways, especially in terms of how I look at relationships and how I look at commitment and how I look at things like sex and romance and partnership. Which I think is definitely something that attracts me to him. And I think it's also probably, on the flip side, something that I find very difficult about playing Cameron and investigating who he is that, I'm having to really, find those aspects of his personality that I do share in common with him and really kind of investigate what that means about how I interact with the world and what it is that I'm putting out and asking to receive in return. But I think that it's a very exciting place for him to be and for me to be in my life, sort of meeting him at this point in his life, and seeing, how he's going to hopefully overcome the shortcomings that he has and the challenges that he faces, and what that means for him moving forward. What that means for me moving forward.